TV 10 and 55 Focus continues.
And welcome back. We're here with Steve Bellone, Democrat, and Angie Carpenter, Republican, candidates for Suffolk County Executive. Steve, let me ask you this. What would you do to create green jobs?
Well, I've actually introduced a clean energy plan for the county that we would create 1,000 jobs in my first term in office as county executive, and it's based upon the work that we've done in Babylon with the Long Island Green Homes program. We were actually the first municipality in the country to create a energy efficiency PACE program, and I've gone around the country and even into Canada talking about the program. It allows people to make their homes energy efficient, more comfortable, more valuable. It helps our environment by reducing emissions. It's creating real green jobs in our community, and it's all at no cost to taxpayers. And I think that's very important. In these economic times, we need innovative solutions like we've applied in Babylon that help grow our economy, but don't add extra burdens onto taxpayers.
Certainly I support green jobs and jobs in general. I mean, whether they're green, red, or blue, we need to have jobs, and they need to be sustainable jobs. There is some question about the green jobs now. I know that Washington subsidized a manufacturer of green equipment to the tune of $500 million, and then the company went belly up. So I think we need to be careful when we go down a road to say that a program like that is not at the cost of taxpayers. Well, who's paying for it? If the taxpayers aren't paying for it, if the resident who owns the home is getting money from the town, that money has to come from somewhere. It just doesn't come out of, you don't pick it off of trees.
All right, let's move on to the next question then. Angie, do you agree with taking money from the Open Space Fund to help close the budget gap in Suffolk County, an ongoing controversy?
You know, it is something that, again, being a member of the Parks and Open Space Committee in the legislature, I was there when we structured, when the open space acquisition law came up for renewal, when we talked of using some of the money towards water quality preservation. But I think that we have to be very, very careful. When we put something before the voters and the voters voted and approved it, if we are to change anything, it has to go back to the voters. So the way the mechanism is in place now is the way it needs to be functioned as it exists.
Steve?
Well, I think it's a terrible idea, except probably for every other idea that's out there to deal with the fiscal crisis we face. This isn't just a normal crisis we're in. This is an extraordinary fiscal situation. And in normal times, I would say absolutely not. But the legislature believes they have the authority to do so, and we have on the table right now laying off 700 people. So I'm a strong advocate for open space, and as county executive, I think the best thing that we can do is grow this economy so that we have the resources to make sure that we can preserve more open space. It's why I've worked to make government more efficient in Babylon. We've actually cut taxes 2 years in a row there because of the work we've been able to do streamlining government. And that's the best way we can make government efficient, and we have the resources then to protect open space.
I would just like to refute something that was just said. When my opponent talks about cutting taxes, we have to be really careful when we talk about things like that. You know, the voters have a right to expect, and they have really a right to demand that their elected officials are always honest with them. You can't say that you've cut taxes, yet in reality, if you look over the period of time that my opponent was in office, taxes have gone up 108% in the town of Babylon. I was at a home of a senior citizen who had our tax bills out on the table for the last 4 years, and each and every year, those taxes went up. And I'm not just talking about school taxes or the overall tax bill, we're talking about the town taxes, every single line. When you add all the lines together, it may just be the general fund, but when you add all the lines together, the taxes have gone up in the town of Babylon.
Rebuttal.
Well, I have good news. You can inform Mrs. Rago that for the second year in a row, her taxes in the town of Babylon are going down. I just released my 2012 budget. For the second year in a row, town taxpayers will be paying less to the town in taxes than they did the year before. And my record on taxes is clear. Over the 10-year period I've been town supervisor, I froze the general fund tax 7 times. It went up once, which was an average $20 increase for residents. The 2 other years, I delivered net tax cuts to residents. And an independent analysis of this in Newsday showed that we had among the lowest tax rates of any town in Suffolk County and the lowest rate of increase of any town since I've been supervisor. So my record there is clear. And you know, it's based on that I've made the hard choices of cutting the size of government and reducing debt.
Well, you brought up Newsday, so I'm going to have to say that Newsday was the one that reported that the taxes went up 108%. You may reduce taxes in one line, but if the garbage district goes up 35% or the lighting district goes up and the general fund town taxes stay flat or you've cut them, when you add them all up, the general total tax bill has gone up each and every year.
Additional rebuttal?
The only rebuttal I would say is this. Again, my tax record is clear. It's been keeping taxes low. I've made the hard choices, and I wonder what else Angie would do. If she's criticizing my tax record as supervisor, where Newsday has said it's the lowest rate of increase of any town in Suffolk County, I'm curious what she would do. I cut the size of government in Babylon over the last 10 years by 24%. I've reduced debt by 20%. At the same time, while she has been in the county, debt has doubled over the last 8 years.
Well, this is a pivotal question.
And government's growing.
I'm going to allow an additional comment if you would like.
Well, I'm not criticizing you, but you're the one that is saying that you cut taxes, and Newsday said that you raised taxes. So I guess maybe you need to have a discussion and an education process with Newsday, because they clearly said that you have raised taxes 108%. And to say that you've delivered a tax cut to this individual woman who had her tax bills out there and showed increases each and every year for 4 years is disingenuous.
All right, additional 30 for you as well, Steve, then we have to have closing statements.
I don't know what the argument is about. We have cut taxes 2 years in a row, and we have the lowest rate of increase of any town in Suffolk County. And again, Angie, I would ask you the question. The county executive is going to have to make these difficult choices. What would you have done differently? If you were criticizing my tax record, which is among the lowest on Long Island, what would you have done? I cut the size of government by 24%. I cut debt 20%. What would you have done differently?
Well, it'll have to be answered in your closing statements by the choice of both candidates. Steve will have the final closing seconds, and you literally only have 30 seconds.
Well, thank you very much, Rich, and thank you again, TV55, for hosting this debate. And I want to thank Angie for a great exchange of ideas. I'm looking forward for running for county executive this year because I believe I can make a difference based on my record in Babylon of cutting the size of government, reducing debt every year I've been in office, and now for the second year in a row delivering a tax cut. I was very proud that Governor Andrew Cuomo, endorsed me this week because he understands that the fiscal discipline that he's applied in Albany, we've done in Babylon, and that's what I'll do in Suffolk County.
Angie?
I think the viewers here can see that the choice is very, very clear. We don't want someone who has grown up in government. We want someone who has real experience, business experience, but governmental experience in the appropriate level of government in Suffolk County. This is a terribly challenging time that we're facing. We need someone who is approaching this for the right reasons. I am looking to do this because I know in my heart of hearts I can do this job. I can make Suffolk County a great place to live, not leave. All
right, thus we have to be able. We want to thank you. Republican Angie Carpenter, Democrat Steve Bellone for Suffolk County Executive. Go out and vote in November. Thank you for being there. I'm Richard Rose. Be sure to join us next week for yet another edition of Focus.